Hello, hello, hello. Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second week of the FY orientation. And to begin with, we have today's session from 10:30 to 11:30. We all will be sitting in the auditorium for the presentation. And from 11:30 to 12:30, I request everyone to note down these locations, or you can take a picture of this. And once the presentation in the auditorium is getting over, branch wise, you have to go to this room numbers for the department presentations. So I hope everyone is clear with the venue, and everyone should assemble latest by 11:30 at this venue once you leave the auditorium. The computer department students will be sitting in the auditorium only. Rest of the branches will be going to the respective venues. So to begin with, the first session of the today, we have a presentation on the research and consultancy, along with the various projects, the laboratory, which we are having in the college, in which the faculty and student members are carrying out the research. So Dr. Kashinath N. Patil, who is the Associate Dean Research and Development of our college, will be briefing all of us about the research and consultancy opportunity in the college. And this will be very helpful for everyone of us to participate in the research work. So I invite Dr. K.N. Patil sir for the presentation.
Okay, so I hope we'll begin with, by the way, good morning, everybody present here. I'll going to talk about what are the avenues or opportunities we had in research and consultancy domain. Before going for a discussion, what I wish that all of you just beginning your new career, new kind of venturing out a time here for engineering. And what I feel is everybody after 4 years has a degree along with major, minor, or some sort of, everybody must have. But what I feel is that will be very common kind of approach one if you just follow. So let's begin with the discussion. So what is the discussion I'll begin with? I'll just briefly pan out what are the areas we as a faculty carry out a research. And whenever we speak about a research, it's not only a faculty, but it's you, the members who are actively participating into it. Now, the moment whenever we do some sort of research, we have quote and unquote have some sort of thrust which we already had decided, and depends on that we wish to have some sort of intellectual right development, or some sort of capital which we can gain, or some sort of experiences which we do understand during this process. So I'll going to talk about the number of patents which we published, or some of them are already being granted by virtue of carrying out the research. Then I'll going to talk about the number of copyrights and trademarks which we during these last 5 years, along with the student faculty members, whatever we worked upon. Then we will talk about different sort of research projects. So depends on the area of expertise and depends on the your interest, because everybody had a different interest altogether. So we'll talk about what are the different avenues currently open for you, so that you can approach a particular faculty and then talk to him for the further kind of association. Then we had some sort of research policies which are being placed, so you get some sort of seed funding for whatever ideas you had, and not only you but as a faculty also. So that I'll going to talk about. And last, I'll going to talk about some of the projects which are currently ongoing, so you can associate yourself with these projects. And finally, the committee, because it's I myself though discussing here, but it's a committee, it's a faculty members who actively participate, and because of them whatever we do, we got some sort of work which carried out. So let's move on. So when we talk about thirst area, so what you find is, you find everybody had some way some stake. So we started with some faculty who is very good at AI, ML, computing, cyber security, or communication. Some of them are really good at into kind of energy in materials. Some of them are good into the design, renewables. There are another vertical which these days you find a lot of startups are coming up in a healthcare segment, and in healthcare driven with IoT, healthcare driven with computing, a lot of stuff which we are working with in healthcare domain also. And what you find is in agriculture technology, this is something which precision agriculture. So a lot of people who wants to pursue something into kind of startup kind of stuff. A lot of new startup coming up, a lot of government policy or thrust areas are there in this area. So if you look at us as a branch, whichever branch you belong to, you find some people who is actively participating, doing some sort of research into it. Now moving to this, so these are just a glimpse or highlights of the people who works on different sort of areas. So let's move on to the different patents. So now, why I started with the patent is something which is a long-term association with the faculty. It's not something which one 6 month job or 6 month work you can translate into. So you have to have little more kind of passionate. You are putting some more effort. And so we had a radiator grill. So these six patents on the radiator grill, Professor Prabhu Desai worked on it. This work which we published not only with the Indian patent, so it's already been granted, but we had a US patent of this particular radiator grill system. We had Chinese, we had a German patent, we had a Korean patent, then we had a Japanese patent. So a lot of patent and this work which industry driven system. So industry pose a problem, and on the basis of that problem we come up with the solution, and that solution as a technology developed, and then we filed this patent with the international agency. Now if you just look at something on a patent side, it takes you another 20 grant is given for 20 years of this time. Copyrights is given for 60 years of time. So if you have something on a patent side or a copyright side, so you will have a better opportunity. Those who wish to go for any industry for their placement, if you just wish to have a pursue higher studies, you certainly have good kind of clothes you'll get. So apart from this, what we had is, now we had 25 patents altogether in last, let's have 5 years. Out of this, six goes into 2012 to 16, and from 16 we manage almost 19 patents, being, out of which two has been granted. Rest of these are being examined. We had already filed the examination for this. So patent number 7, 8, 9, and 10, I myself is a PI. And a beautiful thing is, there were, another couple of students. So though I haven't put up a name, so there are a variety of students. So there are PG student worked on these patents, and these are again, coming up from the industry driven activity. So industry pose a challenge to us, and whatever technology we develop, that's being then we taken rights for that. Industry is currently practicing it. Then Dr. Gilkey had, with myself and Dr. Gilkey, which had another couple of patents, worked with the research scholar, that's a PhD student. Okay, so we had a composition of a brick and a non-destructive testing of bagasse as bricks. So what do you find? These are the destructive testing. So what we use a computational domain without doing any destructive way. You can have online sort of, these day business is something which you need to do it everything in online. So that's where other things. Professor Sharma, which from the computers, they worked on the kind of security development on a cloud. So they had a right or patent on the cloud kind of a system. Apart from that, Professor Lekurwale, and there were another 10 to 11 members who have been actively participated with actual medical practitioners. So developed a suture device. Basically, it's when see a patient is being operating, they want to staple something. So we they had developed this sort of application for this. Then Professor Jyoti Joglekar, who worked on the a method for processing a system for fundamental matrix generation. Basically, this patent is being granted on 24th of March 2023. And so this is already, work is in the computational domain or computer vision. So you find that there is always, a kind of a different system. So then again, a cooling system, which I myself with UG student worked for it, and then we got a patent developed for this particular evaporative cooling system. Then we had a micro drilling spindle system, and then couple of patents on the agriculture domain, that is the jaggery separation system, by Dr. Gilkey, myself, and one of the student. If you look at this, then we had another UG student, UG project, which an efficient cooking system, which is on the 24th January, we filed the patent. Then Santosh Mani sir has three more patents on a variety of kind of processes on elastomers, kind of, some of the IoT deep learning kind of things, along with nanotechnology. And Dr. Vilas Dore, and there are some other people who worked on the metal particulate porous composite filter. And this is something which we had. If you just looked at the number of people and a faculty, anyways, I'm going to talk about how many, patents which we had. The faculty members who actively involved is 18 in numbers. And the student is 10, though looks to be very small number. But mind you guys, this is something which not less than 2 years of association required. Okay, this is something which you have to be very dedicated for this particular activity. And if you are dedicated, and therefore what I said in my lecture is also, one has to be very selfish about himself or herself. So you align yourself, your interest in a such a way that you will get something additional at the end of the day. Another beauty of this whole system is you just have to put your intellect and a time. Rest all is handled by your faculty mentor. So you just approach a suitable faculty mentor, so as your academics will go on whatever way, but simultaneously this also can be pursued. And once you have a dream to pursue something, I think, it's quite possible to work out. The copyright, there were 12 faculty members. And another good thing which I just wanted to highlight here, the recent copyright which developed is granted on 21st of July, I mean this last Friday. And it is the UG student who worked for a mini project for 3 months. So we had developed the document, with the student that he did all the processes right from a documentation out, right, looking for a legal aspect, looking for everything. So he has the one who did everything, so get some understanding and a feel walking along with all these things. So that's what which I feel. And there were 47 students who had already last 5 years had uh, copyrights along with their regular degree. So total there were 30 faculty and 57 students, some way or other come up into this sort of basket. And that's where I feel that a new crowd which comes in, I should be a little selfish about myself, because I want to need some hands to work on some the ideas, and ultimately it is you people get enriched, and by the way we also get some sort of accolades end of the day. Okay, apart from that, so this is just, I'll just quickly run. This is the US patent which we had, and a radiator grill which I already said. This is some of the this is the radiator system which he develops, and you can. And uh, I request you guys, whenever you invest your time for any project, any discussion, please do check and verify World Intellectual Property Right Organization. Don't invest your time onto an idea which you feel that's something which is very novel. No, because many a times there were some people somewhere in the corner of the world who already thinks like you and had done it everything, and you walked around and suddenly you come up, you come up with something which already done, so you lose your chances. So don't do that. So this is something. So this is a Korean sort of the same patent. So we had, because now in a patents, what do you need, bacha? You need to file in each of the country. There is nothing something, you file it in India and it rights being preserved for everywhere. It's not that. So you have to go to each of the country's patent office and file that. So whichever the idea you feel and whichever the application is more like, this is something on a kind of application on the machine systems or kind of. So we want the Korean system, Japanese people or German people had a new system development, so we went there and filed the right there also. So that's the way the things happen. So these are the some of the things which we had. This is one more patent which we had on a vacuum drying system. I myself, along with these are the some UG students. I just don't want to read out everything because there are lot many things to read out. So this is on a vacuum drying system. Okay, the patent is examined and published in 2020. This is one more on, kind of a pearl bead coating system. These are the small industry. They pose a problem, and we developed a system. These systems are actually being placed for the operation. So technology is already being under utilization. So this is one more on to kind of a composition of a brisk act. Okay, so this is with the Sandeep Langde is basically a research scholar. So what I so again there is one more on the solar system insulation system which we developed. There are another patent which we developed on the similar sort of for the similar industry on kind of separating system. Okay, so this is basically artificial jewelry. When we had this jewelry preparation, so we need a lot of mechanization we need, so we developed this. Then we had a non-restrictive testing system. It is being published on 2022. Okay, these are the basically Raj Jain and Bhima Shankar Guru. These are the UG student. This is a UG B.Tech project which they had within a year, because they worked right from a day in a complete year. We come able to finish not only the UG project, but along with that project, we get a PhD out of that. And the institute provides generous support for whatever the expenses, because this is not something which comes free. It needs a lot of expenditure associated. So these are the students who worked upon this particular project. Then basically Dr. Sharma works on the kind of a security from a cloud. So they were developing some algorithms, and whatever new algorithms they developed, they took it kind of technology whatever they had. This is a kind of micro drilling system wherein a research scholar, that is Sachin Shinde and Professor Lekurwale, who is a mechanical faculty. This is one more. So you find here Dr. Lekurwale, Dr. Rajesh Pansare, Sudata Pathak, Dr. Patil, Sonali Patil, Dr. Joglekar, then Dr. Sudha Gupta, Priyanka Patil, Abhijit Karmakar, Shilpa Bhambure. And there are two people who are actual medical practitioners, because though we are the professors or engineers, we may not know the jargon of medicine. And we need to know that jargon of a medicine when you want to develop something. So this is the device, and you find a lot of avenues one can look for. This is a patent already granted for Dr. Jyoti Joglekar. She works on to a fundamental matrix generation on the computer vision and whatever the new method developed for it. Guys, those who are working particularly in a computing or computers domain, it is very difficult to get a patent out of it because it's hardcore mathematics more often. Okay, and even with that, getting something on that sort of things, it's a commendable job. She already had it. Then Seema Telmale again works on some sort of artificial intelligence and image processing. She already works on again a fundamental. It's a 3-bit error correction system. So she already got some patent granted for it. So I'll just not going to read out. So these are the two systems developed for the Jaggery separations. I'm okay. So further, these are the some of the patent that Santosh Mani had worked upon on the IoT based systems. I'll quickly move down, and then last is basically a Vilas Dore sir who had a patent on to a composite system. So what I feel is this is where you have to spend little time and align yourself. This is something which is difficult to get it, but yes, absolutely one can imagine. The low hanging fruits are basically working on a copyrights or a design right. That could be easily worked out, as easy as a 3 months job. You are dedicatedly work for 3 months, getting something which is little different than others. It's of your own job, it's of your own work. Certainly one can file this particular thing, and that could be easy worked out. So if you find here, the first three are basically again myself worked on, and this is with the Indian Railways. So we developed system for Indian Railways and we took it right for this. These all are granted rights. Then there were another four, 5, 6 is on the computing domain. So a lot of work which we worked on the computing, we had this. So a lot of students, when I say others, so there were a lot of students who are being working with. Then carbon nanotube based oil spill duster, mind you guys, this work, I myself is a PI and a student from a computer sorry information technology works on this particular project just for 2 months. Okay, and then we worked out. So there were, Indian Sulu, and there are so many things. Okay, there are so many stuff which you can find. The 15, number 15 is a solar thermal igniter. What I said is this is the UG project which is on the 6th semester, worked for mini project, worked for 2.5 months or 3 months, translated, and here the student did everything. I just as a role, as a supporting role. So what I feel is that's where I said be selfish into whatever. And then 21st July the grant is paid, I mean that is being is granted, the right is granted to us. So there were 18 sort of kind of copyrights we developed, and as I said to you guys, the 47 students already got some sort of rights to be developed for them. So this is what something it look like to you, and these are the, you can go to the intellectual rights Indian patent office in, and then put your name or whatever. You will come to know all these lists with, it's always a feel proud kind of stuff. So you just google it out or you just go to there, you'll find the list of who had which right. This right is patents or design rights are there for you for next 60 years. Okay, so it's something which feels good. So there are, this is the way. Now what you find is colors. This basically you can simply color code, we'll talk about, and this is where latest by 20 kind of 21st July which we get. This is basically a design rights. Okay, design rights is something which you have a aesthetics. So what is mean by design? It's a aesthetic. Copyrights has software, there are different rights one can go. So it's a software, it could be literary, it could be kind of videos, you could be MP, audio. So there are variety, or they you have GI. So a lot of stuff is there. Okay, so whatever is there in your mind, please approach to the faculty so as he or she could help you out to get something which is more fruitful than what others are doing. Now looking to all these things need a money, pesa, something which is very very essential, driving out all these things. So if you just look at from 2016 to till 2023, okay, so if you find the number of projects which are ongoing, so these are the projects, the number of funding agency which we had, and the amount of funds which is outlay against these projects. So currently we had 9 projects are being ongoing, along with outlay of around 250 lakhs, okay, rupees. Then we have already 5 projects are in pipeline, which is around 305 lakhs rupees being applied. And rest of the thing, it's numbers are with you, okay, that you can see it. Now if you just look at the funding agencies which already fund us is a national bulk holding. So there are some industry partners. Why I want to emphasize on the industry partners, we more often as an academician go on very academic sort of things, and then if you have very academics, probably we may have a little disconnect onto this. So if industry comes in, it will be much more rewarding in terms of we as a faculty, you as a student, and a stakeholder as an industry, we get a kind of synergy between a real life problem handle, a kind of a situation wherein you can develop something. Otherwise, assume and solve kind of stuff doesn't work in industry. End of the day, they want something to be worked very specific with what, with the commercials. They want something, when they invest, they need a money out of it. So then we have a DST, that is for the technology development. DRDO cars is basically a consultancy services. DRDO asks the people to develop certain specific things. Then DRDO serve, we had University Grant Commission, then AICT, then we have Child Development Fund UK who supported us. We had some project consultancy work for ATE Industry and L&T Automation. We have been working with Water Mappers, who is an international company. We had SA Textile, that's the one patent which you see on the incineration system for a textile. So they have a lot of cotton waste coming up end of the day, and it's a industry scale. How to burn? That's a big challenge. And we worked on that challenge to get something, fruitful. So if you just looked at the patents I just shown, I just wish to show you. So we already handle almost 204 projects which are completed or ongoing. So in the last 5 years, this is the substantial numbers of research projects are ongoing. So what you find is, this is just for me to understand what is the department code, then funding agency, which funding agency, which type of project, whether it's a research project, whether it's a consultancy project, which year, who is the investigator, and that is where something which is important for you guys. Okay, you can approach this faculty. Okay, then typically what this information, what you find is which research area, and then what specialization title, whether a UG student could be associated, whether is a PG student could be associated, or whether PhD student could be associated. Then what is the outlay against that project, and whether what is the status, whether it's ongoing or completed. All this information is there. So you can approach the people whose projects are ongoing, so to talk to them and get something, you can work upon. So these are the different projects. So this you can, certainly go and look for, you know so apart from that, so this is just a sample sketch which I shown here. Apart from that, we had a consultancy policy in a place, so which talks about how the student member is being associated with this, kind of if it is a faculty member, what all has to be go with faculty member, how much is money is involved. Suppose if a student services is being taken for that particular thing, whether he has been paid, and if he has been paid, how much he has been paid and all. So that is already in place. So it's not something which we already had place for this. Another interesting fact for you guys is how much money one can get. So you will get some sort of funding also for the ideas. Okay, maybe a very small amount after a due diligence, and even if you need little more than that, if you go through a detailed project, you write a project, you talk to a faculty mentor, push it that to the our office as a dean's office, we will take a call on to it, and then we can look for. Okay, so these are the things which is there is well documented policy for the student projects or SDC, that is student development committee. Apart from that, there is always what I feel is, even it a small reward, in terms of a faculty, in terms of a student. So it's we had a research award being, given for a faculty, and that too by virtue of this, more and more faculty will come up for this domain, because this is something which is more than what regular kind of learning, that is teaching learning say jada, something which we need to go extra mile. So these are the already these policies are in place, so you talk to again faculty members around. So some of the glimpse of the research project which we had. So this project is Dr. Shivangi is working with, funded by DST, which is outlay of 53 lakhs rupees, and basically making a tablewares from the bagasse or paddy kind of stuff. Okay, then this is the research work carried out by, energy or kind of energy management, in case of pollution monitoring. So Dr. Busnur works on this particular sort of lab, so probably you must have visited this lab also. I'm not going to spend more time on the discussion. I just want, so Dr. Lukman, who is also coming from a mechanical department, who had a two serve grants which is costing around 75 lakhs rupees, and the projects are still ongoing. He works on the material domain. Okay, collaboration is with BRC and University of Warwick of UK. Then we had a good setup, which is 1 crore kind of a grant for the blockchain sustainability kind of a system. Dr. Irfan, Dr. Ashwini Dalvi, and Professor Sagar, who is sitting here, uh, is working for this project. So you can you can align yourself if you wish to. Then Professor Karthik and his team, that is Dr. Ameya Naik and others, working on 5G kind of research. The outlay is around 55 lakhs, and you can go and talk to him if you have some sort of wish to. There is some sort of renewable system developments. It's I myself and Dr. Nikam. With this lab is already being had 7 patents and 10 copyrights granted. So a lot of students do work on this system. So these are the couple of stuff which we had. Okay, Dr. Ninad works on kind of AI solutions. So he had a lot of small prototype development he had been working on. So some of you might be interested into kind of projects which he develops. Then we had a Festo-driven system for automation. Those who want to pursue something on this line, they can certainly look forward for this. Then we had a bio kind of kind of BTech lab, where in association with IIT Bombay, Dr. Ramesh Lekurware, Rajesh Pansare, and Kavita Thakur, there are people, some more people associated. They being trying to develop some sort of implant system with all sort of things. So these are the couple of projects which we had. Apart from that, so another important aspect which I feel is, we need to sensitize the student, and therefore as a department section, what we did is we conducted a seminar on the intellectual property right by National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission, NEPAM, by Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. For student is separate, and for faculty, because we need to inculcate this sort of kind of understanding among the student, and along with the faculty also. It's not something you are new, there are some, so we do associate ourselves working for development in this area, writing a proposal, writing some sort of uh, business document, or writing something onto a intellectual rights side, because it's not something very stereotype of writing. So we need to look for, and therefore our office, that's Dean R&D office, is certainly going to assist you. If you have something in your mind, we'll be very happy to help you out. The committee which working with this is myself as Dean R&D, that is research and development, my area of work is renewable systems or thermal systems. Dr. Mani, who is sitting here, he is a joint associate dean research, works on the condensed matter. Dr. Ninad Mehendale, the other members are here present, some of them. He works on the artificial intelligence. Dr. Sandeep Sainkar works on RF and microwave. Professor Sagar Kode works on IoT, blockchain, and information security. Dr. Bosnur, who is sitting here, works on the thermal system, air pollution, energy management, and conservation. Professor Silpa, he's also sitting here. She works on the biomechanics or biocomposites. Dr. Abhijit works on automation and mechatronics. Dr. Jyoti Joglekar works on computer vision and data science. Professor Dr. Pushpendra Rai works on nanomaterials and water treatment. So all in all, what I say is, you find it's a kind of a mix kind of stuff wherein, whichever kind of student comes in, we can help him out. Okay, so that is what I feel, and therefore at the end of this is the end of my talk. What I feel is a lot of new student in the next 4 years. What we could manage is, and that's what my firm believe. You just check it out, MIT, or you check it out, whatever the Western world, the number of IPs they generate, number of IP they produce in each year. So they had 100 and odd IPs. So until and unless we have 100 technologies to be offered, out of which two might be successful ventures. And if you want to have that two successful ventures, you need to have 100 needs to go. Therefore, what I feel is whatever 20 we manage in 5 years, probably next 4 years, another 50 we can manage. Yes, certainly that is quite possible. And we had some sort of experience, because experience is something which very essential. You have to walk around, and we already walk around the road some way, needs to go miles away. So thank you, boys, for the attention you had. Any questions? I'm here. Okay, if not, okay, thank you. उसको कुछ करना है क्या? नहीं, मेरा लैपटॉप है. Anything? चलो मैं.
Thank you, Patil sir, for enlightening us with the opportunities of the research in the college. Now we have a short presentation by Ramakrishnan sir on student development through the National Service Scheme.
Good morning. I thank Madam. She has not only given me time, but also placed the presentation right on just after the research part, because for every research and a patentable idea, there is something called commercialization of the patent, and there is a socialization of a patent. That means how it can be made useful for a society. So here I'm basically going to talk about this. When I was discussing with ma'am, actually, I very informally told her that, ma'am, I want some time to talk to the engineering student, because last batch, maximum NSS students were from engineering background. She was surprised. She asked, social service scheme, the national service scheme by engineering student, what they will do, because it will be a usual idea. These are all the usual things people do. I'm not going to talk about this. I showed you this picture because this is going to be the stereotype. I'm here to break the stereotype. So what exactly I'm planning to do is specifically for the NSS students or the student volunteer from engineering college. So here what primarily we are planning to do is use our engineering knowledge to upgrade the NSS, maybe for 2.0 or 3.0, we don't know, but it's already happening in around India, primarily in IITs. So we will be the next to do it as an engineering college. There are other engineering college, but they are doing the usual work. They're doing the usual work. I don't want the usual work to be done, because you are engineers and you can do better. Okay. And here I would like to show you certain things where engineering student has done this. So this is a water drone. So here, what we are planning to do is to design a low-cost water drone, and it could be used in a stream. And we have a test area here itself. We have a drain going. We can take permission from BMC, and we can do this. We can upgrade this where the plastic waste floating in the system could be collected and disposed of, given back to the BMC. BMC is, Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation. And another thing, what it can do now. Recently, I'm regularly going through. I read per day 12 newspapers, so I regularly go through all these fascinating ideas which come. Recently, we know that despite all development happening, all scientific and technological background, more than 30 people have been pulled by sea in various parts of India during the rainy season. Okay, and the high tide time. So can we design, or it is already in place, a 6 lakh rupee drone, water drone, which could work like a, it can go into the rough seas and fetch the people who have been pulled. So now you can ask them, it becomes a drone lifeguard. So it is, suppose the sea is very rough that even a lifeguard can't survive that, but a drone can survive there because it's powered by AI and robotics. It knows where to give the counter pressure, how to turn or protect the person and move away from the tidal uh, place to save the person. So you can play the role of a lifesaver apart from uh, reducing pollution. Okay, so this is another thing which I would like to say. You can impart people from electronics and IT background, apart from programming for these drones. You can also think about empowering the rural youth by a small program, small things, small workshop, 1 day workshop, how to teach them do simple things like soldering, or testing the integrity of a circuit, how to basically repair things. These are the things which is lacking in the rural area, the skill development. So you could be the train the trainers. You will be trained by your teacher, and from that knowledge you further train the people. Okay, how about using air drones to sow seeds? Okay, to plant tree. I don't want you to go and plant traditionally, digging a hole and planting a tree. Why can't we throw the seed balls of a particular native species into a place where we can't reach physically? We have to go by mountaineering only. There are places in our hillocks where we can't reach, or it's very tough to reach there. The trees have been destroyed either because of forest fire or because of lightning attack. This is a very common thing. So there will be, you can see when you are traveling, there will be a patch which will be completely blank in a mountain. So we can go and plant trees using our latest technology. The latest technology is drone, and drone will have a canister. It will shoot the seed ball on the right places. It is controlled by your laptop, your softwares, and then you drop those and come back. So you make a specific drone to do this work. Not just that, I will just share one success story which I had when we went to do national service scheme in Arunachal Pradesh. Nowadays, northwest is northeast is becoming very famous. We had gone there primarily to put the seats. Okay, we were invited by the Indian Army. They had given us the support system, and we were doing it in the border areas because they said if the density of the forest is very high, then the chance of people straying into the Chinese border or the Tibetan border is less. So we went to put the native species there, but in the process we came to know it. We didn't discover, but we came to know that there is a village very much in the border. It's an Indian village, and this is the last village. And there is only way you can reach the village is by walking and trekking. There's no road. Okay, and very difficult to make roads. Maybe in few more years they may make a cable car, or but the population is very low. And the biggest problem, there is no medical shop in that village. Nobody's, no pharmacist, or nobody is willing to get the medical shop. So what we did was, we were already having the seed ball canisters going into that areas and coming back. So we decided to create the seed bank inside the village because there is no qualified pharmacist or nobody is coming forward to open a medical shop. So only way they could reach there. And interesting thing is Google Pay works there, Amazon works there. People order medicine, and medicine goes by the postal department. Every 3 days once, postal department will carry parcels which will, and this is a special arrangement. It doesn't come to every village. So what we did was we made a seed bank there, and we taught them how to load the canister with the native seeds. Now we are not sending seeds into the border area. Instead, we were sending medicines, and in return, the the reiki, it comes empty. So there they upload the seeds, and so our purpose is also solved. While coming back, it was sowing the seeds. Okay, this was done exactly in the border between India and Tibet. That is the Arunachal Pradesh area. And we got a very good support from the Indian military and Air Force for this particular process. And this was completely done by engineering students. Although we were from medical corps, we were just there watching this happening in front of our own eyes. Another thing which you people can do is automate the tree plantation. Recently, the NSS ministry, social welfare ministry, had told us, youth affair ministry had told us to plant 75 trees. 75 trees, nothing. If we automate, in a single day, we can plant 7,500 trees. And how is this? You just need some. I saw engineers going and working in toy shops, a toy designing shop. I'm not talking about the retail shop where toys are designed. We need engineers, we need mechanical engineer, we need IT engineers, we need computer engineers to program the toy. And what the toy does, it just makes people happy. And why not put a ratchet wheel on the side and put the seed, which we already use it for agricultural purpose. So same thing we can use here. The same thing can be done. It can be fitted on a bicycle, and it can be do. So it is completely, either it can be done by computerized system or a non-computerized, digital or an analog system. There were people who were designing a very expensive. You know that when you go on mountaineering trips or you go to a temple which is located in the mountain, people carry a stick. Okay, and the down of the stick is like a wicket, cricket wicket. So there is a hole there down, and you load the entire stick with seeds. And when people climb on that mountain, they keep the stick down, and every pierce, one seed is put there. Okay, we can automate this. Then we can make more less expensive and thing, and understand all these can be done at a low cost by an engineer. And more importantly, it becomes at least patentable ideas, if not an original patent, because original patent may be given for something, but design, you are changing the design, so you will get it. And we are going to take the help from your research department to do it. Your student council activity and the NSS activity will be integrated. So we have 100 students in our one batch. Now, one first batch is already 102 students. Majority of them are engineers with dreams. They are going to come with their ideas. Almost, I would say, 80% are engineering students. They have joined. I'm very happy to tell this. So next batch is on the process in which you people can join and realize your ideas. And there is no curriculum to it. You can design your curriculum. Means you can design what you want to do. Okay, so your ideas will be realized here, and more important, you can integrate your project work, your engineering project, along with the social idea. That's why I said a patentable idea or a research idea has a commercial angle to it and a social angle to it. So we are only going to explore the social angle. Commercial angle is left to you and your college. So this is one very interesting thing I would like to share with you people. And we can do more things like transplanting trees or creating trees from a branch which is cut off, so that the trees are growing faster. Okay, with biotechnology help, we are even grafted or created saplings from every single tree which was pruned, every single stick which was pruned, and leaf which was pruned. So that is what I would like to inspire with you. And I am leaving these posters in your notice board. I thank ma'am once more for giving me this opportunity. And the NSS volunteer form is very much available. And apart from this, you can also participate in UA internship program, which is a free internship program. Already 30 internships have been announced, and I will be regularly posting that in the student groups. You will get an email, and anyone who wish to join can come and approach me. And most of these activities are outside your working hour, and more importantly, outside your exam hour and other curricular activity. We are not going to bother your regular teaching activity. That's what I would like to appreciate more. I thank ma'am once again and the team of the orientation program for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so for the next session, already this slide was shown in the starting. Those who are latecomers, please note down these numbers. Branch wise, the students have to assemble to these room numbers for the presentation of the HOD. AIDS will be going to B building on 5th floor, 507. Computer students will be remaining in the auditorium. EXCP student will be going in this building, 2nd floor, 202. EXTC and CC students will be going to this building, 2nd floor, 225. IT students will be going to B building, 113. Mechanical and RAI students will be going to this building, 315. All the students are requested to please be seated for 1 minute. All the students are requested to assemble at this venue at 11:30. Today in the afternoon from 2 to 4, again we have a visit to the department's post facility library in the rotation, and therefore all the students are requested to assemble to their home locations in the Bhaskaracharya building at 1:45. Tomorrow in the morning, 10:30 to 12:30, we will be having an expert session, which is very much required for each of us. Work and social life balance in the mental health perspective will be taken by the expert tomorrow in the auditorium. So again, for the tomorrow, everyone is requested to be assembled in the auditorium by 10:30. So now I request from the last, the students are there to exit the student at this venue, and all of you are requested to be assembled at 11:30 on these places. Thank you. So today's day in the auditorium is over. Tomorrow again we'll meet at 10:30 in the auditorium. I request everyone to please be on time. Thank you. Yes, from the last, the student can escape and they can go branch wise to these places. Please take a snap of this so that you don't miss in between.